genuinely possible to win a televised drag talent show by doing absolutely nothing but unzipping a plush snowman suit and pulling a massive sparkling root vegetable out of your behind?
I mean, clearly it is.
Right, because after this week, my entire understanding of competition reality television is just, like, in complete shambles.
Oh, completely.
We are dissecting the most controversial elimination of the decade, the absolute riggery of producer manipulation, and a level of workroom betrayal that would genuinely make Shakespeare blush. We are back, the hiatus is over, and the workroom is officially on fire.
Fetch the heavy-duty extinguishers, babes, because the dolls did not just bring matches. They brought gasoline, and they are, like, not holding back a single drop.
Babes, welcome back. To the queens, the kings, the gays, the theys, the dolls, the allies, literally everybody, welcome home. We love you, we see you, and thank you so much for rocking with us while we took our little hiatus.
Yes, thank you so much.
Trust us, babes. We missed you just as much as you probably missed us. And I genuinely want to take a quick emotional moment right at the top just to thank you, our Snark Squad listener.
Oh, absolutely.
The DMs, the check-in messages, the little notes of love you sent while we were away. You are the absolute best listener on the internet. I was literally getting misty-eyed reading them in the airport.
It was incredibly sweet. It really was. And we are so grateful for you. But before we get into the tears and the absolute riggery and the fabulous chaos of this episode, we need a toast.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
What are we drinking?
I have shaken up some gorgeous, heavily poured lavender gin spritzes for us because this calls for a massive celebration. Cheers to you, bestie, and cheers to the Snark Squad.
Cheers, my love. Oh, wow, that is so good.
Right. It hits.
The lavender is hitting exactly where it needs to. It is so herbaceous. And let me tell you, I needed a strong drink after the absolute madness of this week.
Let's be real. Taking a social media break is incredibly healthy for your mental state. Like, until you come back and realize you need at least 3 to 5 business days just to catch up on the timelines.
Oh, my God.
The internet somehow became significantly more chaotic while we were offline.
The group chats. My phone was practically vibrating off the nightstand every single night. It felt so bizarre not to just hit record and immediately start spiraling with you.
I know.
I was watching these queens pop off on Twitter, reading the Reddit threads where people were writing absolute dissertations on game theory, and I was just sitting on my couch like, I have so many feelings and no microphone. I felt completely trapped.
Right. I was having full-blown academic-level arguments with my television set in my living room. I immediately binge-watched a frankly disgusting amount of reality TV the second we got back from our trips.
Oh, same.
I was mainlining competition shows. It was like I was starved for petty drama. And honestly, this episode gave me the exact buffet of mess that I was craving. It was a Michelin star feast of shade.
It was a feast. But before we get into the workroom, I thought we could play a quick little game to warm up.
Okay, I love a game.
Just to get back into the groove. I want to do some drag race superlatives for the queens still in the competition, because seeing them all interact this week really solidified their archetypes for me.
Oh, I am always ready to judge. Lay it on me. I have my clipboard ready.
Okay, first superlative. Which queen would you trust to plan your birthday party? And don't say none of them.
See, my instinct is to say none of them because drag queens inherently make everything about themselves.
I mean, true.
It would just turn into a surprise roast of me starring them.
Come on, you have to pick one. For me, I am absolutely picking Jasmine Kennedy.
Oh, interesting. Why Jasmine?
Here's my logic. She has that frantic, chaotic, high-strung cheerleader energy. Like she would be screaming at the caterer, her headset microphone would be taped to her cheek, the clipboard would be practically glued to her hand, but you know the balloon arch would be mathematically flawless.
Okay, I see that.
She would have a panic attack in the bathroom, but the appetizers would be hot and on time.
That's entirely fair. If she can choreograph those aggressive cheer lifts we saw this week, she can manage a 50-person guest list.
Exactly.
Okay, next. Queen you'd take on vacation. For me, this is hands down Joey J.
Really? Joey. I feel like she'd forget her passport.
Absolutely. But Joey is so relaxed and authentic this season. She's giving this, like, I'm just happy to be out of the house energy.
That's so true.
I feel like we could just smoke a little blunt by the cabana, sip our margaritas, and she wouldn't care if we completely missed the snorkeling excursion because we slept until 2 in the afternoon. Low stakes, high vibes, no itinerary stress.
I love that. She really is giving unbothered homosexual on holiday. She'd probably just wear sunglasses inside the whole time.
Exactly.
Okay, next one. Queen most likely to survive a zombie apocalypse.
Akariacy Davenport. without a singular moment's hesitation.
Oh, fully. I wouldn't even bet against her.
I mean, Akira is fighting for her actual life in this competition right now. She has survived the bottom so many times.
So many times.
Think about the psychology of someone who has to constantly lip sync to survive. Her fight or flight response is permanently set to fight.
Oh my God, yes.
She would simply look at the undead horde, weaponize a 6-inch stiletto, and tell them to back the hell up. She is a survivor, babes. She'd be leading the colony by week 2.
She would strut through the wasteland. Okay, what about queen you'd want as your dentist's receptionist?
Why is that a category? Who thinks about their dentist's receptionist?
Because going to the dentist is inherently stressful. You need a very specific vibe when you walk in there.
Okay, fine. Who's your pick?
I picked Dawn. Imagine walking into a sterile, terrifying dental office, anxious about a root canal, and Dawn is sitting behind the frosted glass in full elf ears.
That sounds like a nightmare.
No, listen. She's looking at you with those huge, painted, Tim Burton-esque eyes, and she's speaking in that very soft, creepy, whimsical, burlesque voice. Just saying, like, your chair is ready.
I'm horrified.
It would be weirdly calming. Like a whimsical woodland creature is checking my Delta dental insurance.
I feel like she would quietly judge my flossing habits and cast a spell on my molars, but sure, I see the vision.
Thank you.
Okay, final one. Queen, most likely to accidentally become your therapist.
Oh, that's tough. You need someone who listens, but also reads you a little bit.
It's Silky. It has to be Silky Nutmeg Ganache.
Oh, wow. Why Silky?
She is so completely unbothered this season, living her absolute best, unapologetic villain era. I feel like I'd be crying on her velvet couch about my life choices, pouring my heart out, and she'd just be quietly sipping a sweet tea, looking at me and telling me to get over it and wash my face.
Oh my God, she totally would.
Tough love, but incredibly effective. She wouldn't coddle you.
If I gotta be a fake-ass bitch in your story, I guess I gotta be it.
Oh my God, we'd definitely get into that quote.
Oh, we have to. It brings up such an interesting question, though, as we look at this final group of girls. What actually makes someone iconic on this show? We talk about it all the time. Is it the unshakable confidence, the rapid-fire humor, pure, unadulterated dancing talent, or is it just radical, messy authenticity?
It's a cocktail of all of it, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly why Drag Race has survived what feels like 70-plus seasons across the globe. It celebrates so many entirely different types of greatness.
It really does.
You have the raw, polished, pageant perfection of an Akira, where every sequin is mathematically placed up against the complete gonzo clown camp of a Crystal Method, who literally wears garbage and makes it fashion.
Exactly.
It shouldn't make sense that they're competing on the same stage,
Yeah.
but it does. It's the ultimate equalizer.
It's a beautiful, fabulous mess. But, babes, enough about us. The workroom is officially open, so let's get into this episode because these queens came to play.
Let's set the scene. We open in the workroom, immediately following the elimination.
Yeah.
Kennedy Davenport is gone. The heavy hitter, the legend, has officially left the building.
And I have to say, my heart was absolutely breaking for Okiria. She is devastated to lose her auntie. You could feel the heavy emotion radiating through the screen.
You really could.
Akiria had to lip sync against her own drag family, look her in the eye, send her home, and now she has to just wipe the mirror message away and keep competing. The psychological toll of that is immense.
It is immense. Drag family ties run deeper than blood for a lot of these performers. But the grief process on reality television lasts for exactly 45 seconds before the producers, in their infinite sadism, decide it's time to stir the pot.
Of course they do.
They pull out the Rated Queen receipts book, the Pandora's box of the workroom.
I was screaming at my television. They finally get to see exactly how everyone voted. For weeks, they've been doing this blind voting system to determine the tops and bottoms, and now all the anonymity is stripped away, and oh my God, the strategies are completely exposed.
Completely.
Let's talk about Joey J first, because this is where the game theory really comes into play.
Yeah.
Joey ranked Kennedy first.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah.
It is pure, unadulterated Machiavellian survival strategy.
Joey fully admitted she put Kennedy at the top purely so she wouldn't have to lip sync against her. I think it's a brilliant survival tactic.
It's just smart math.
If you know Kennedy Davenport, the dancing diva of Texas, the woman who will literally flip off a stage and land in a split, will destroy you in a performance, you do whatever you can to keep her out of the bottom two. You inflate her score to protect yourself.
It's a classic application of the prisoner's dilemma, but with rhinestones.
Yes.
If everyone votes honestly based on the critiques, the best rise to the top. But the second one person votes strategically, like Joey voting to protect herself from an assassin. It forces everyone else to play dirty just to survive.
Exactly.
If you're playing fair while everyone else is playing Survivor, you're going home. But Jasmine Kennedy was absolutely not having it.
Jasmine is just so emotional, and she wears her heart on her sleeve. She was absolutely furious. She basically claims this is exactly why she doesn't trust Joey, because she's playing a sneaky game. She called it two-faced.
Honestly, Jasmine needs to wake up and smell the organic setting spray. It's a competition for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I know, but...
If you aren't playing the game is playing you. You can't be mad at a queen for utilizing the exact mechanics that producers put in place. They literally handed them a ranking system and said, figure it out. Joey figured it out.
I love Jasmine's authenticity, but it does make her a massive target when she gets that hot-headed. But the real explosion, the moment that had me pausing the TV to text our group chat, was A'keria checking the receipts and realizing Silky ranked her 6th, dead last.
The gasp I let out. It rattled my windows.
A'keria confronts Silky directly and calls her a fake-ass bitch. The pain in A'keria's voice was so real, I felt terrible for her because she genuinely felt betrayed by a friend.
It's tough to watch.
They have history outside of the show, they work the same clubs, they know the same people, and to see that number 6 next to your name from someone you trust, someone you consider a sister, that stings on a personal level, not just a game level.
Oh, it stings deeply. But we have to analyze Silky's response here, because I was absolutely living for it.
It was so good.
In past seasons, we've seen Silky get really defensive or loud or try to deflect when confronted. She used to spin out. Here, she didn't apologize, she didn't backtrack, she didn't raise her voice.
Nope.
She just calmly looked at A'keria dead in the eye and delivered the line of the season. If we got to be a fake-ass bitch in your story, I guess I got to be it.
Put it on a t-shirt, carve it into my tombstone, got chills.
It is the ultimate manifestation of the unbothered villain archetype. She is in a fully realized era of self-acceptance, and I respect it so much.
Me too.
She refuses to let A'keria control the narrative or make her feel guilty for playing the game. She's basically saying, I played the game, I protected myself, your feelings are your responsibility, and I don't care if you're mad.
Wow.
It is phenomenal reality TV because it completely diffuses the fight by accepting the insult. A'keria had nowhere to go with her anger after that.
It really is a masterclass in conflict resolution through sheer apathy. But the tension in that room was thick enough to cut with a lace front scissor. You could feel everyone holding their breath.
Oh, absolutely.
But RuPaul, the ultimate producer, knows exactly how to break that kind of heavy tension. The siren goes off, Ru walks in, and announces the mini challenge, which was completely, utterly unhinged.
Dr. Bronner's phone party. A brand integration sent straight from the depths of a sensory processing disorder nightmare.
Babes, the pit crew is literally standing there with massive industrial hoses, spraying the queens with gallons of organic peppermint soap while they try to lip sync to a high-energy dance track. It was pure distilled joy.
Joy, really.
I was laughing so hard my stomach hurt, seeing these glamorous queens getting blasted in the face with suds.
See, you call it joy, I call it an OSHA violation. Let's talk about the sheer terror of doing this in quick drag.
Oh God, the quick drag!
For you listening, quick drag is when the queens have like 15 minutes to put on a face and an outfit. They had no padding, their proportions were all wrong, and they were wearing those crunchy, synthetic shake-and-go wigs because absolutely no one is ruining their $500 good human hair for this nonsense.
Oh, completely. The wigs were looking rough. It was giving Spirit Halloween clearance section.
And trying to lip sync while thick, blinding, stinging peppermint foam is blasting directly into your corneas. Do you know how much Dr. Bronner tingles?
It's minty.
It's intense.
Yeah.
Half of them lost their shoes. They were slipping and sliding on that stage like it was a 1990s Nickelodeon slime obstacle course. It was a physical disaster, but yes, a hilarious one.
Sam Starr ends up winning the mini challenge, and honestly, good for her. She hit all the comedic marks, she leaned into the absolute absurdity of the situation, and she looked like she was actually having fun despite practically drowning in suds. She wasn't afraid to look ugly, which is the key to a good mini challenge. But the fun and games end very quickly because Ru announces the Maxi Challenge, the Tournament of All-Stars Talent Rumble.
Which is just a very long, very legally distinct way of saying the talent show. And this is the final hurdle before the grand finale. 6 spots left.
The pressure was insane.
The pressure in that room was astronomical. If you bomb the talent show, there is nowhere to hide. You can't blame a scene partner or a script. It's just you and your talent.
Exactly. So let's break this down. The preparation segment alone was a masterclass in producer manipulation. I was watching it thinking, wow, they're really setting us up to think everyone is going to fail.
Absolutely. The editors were having an absolute field day in the editing bay. First of all, they repeatedly show the girls rehearsing without music.
Yes, why do they do that?
Now, any dancer or choreographer will tell you, watching intense choreography without the underlying beat makes everyone look completely deranged.
Yeah.
You're just watching people heave and throw their limbs around in dead silence with the squeak of sneakers on the floor.
So awkward.
It's a classic reality TV trick to manufacture doubt in the audience's mind.
And the psychological warfare in the workroom, the awkward setups where the producers clearly forced the queens to sit and watch each other rehearse.
It was brutal.
There was that moment with Dawn standing on the sidelines, literally glaring, trying to intimidate Sam while Sam is rehearsing her dance break. It felt so high school in the best, pettiest way possible.
The intimidation tactics were palpable. But let's get into the actual performances on the main stage, because I have a very long list of notes.
Yeah.
Shall we start with the winner of the mini challenge, Sam Starr?
Yes. Let's talk about Sam. She did an original song and dance routine, and I have to say, I am so fiercely proud of her.
She did well.
She came into the season as a late addition, straight off her original season, which is incredibly intimidating. You haven't had time to tour, build a massive budget, or gain that all-star confidence yet, but she proved she absolutely belongs on that stage.
It was a very strong, highly competent showing.
The choreography was incredibly tight. She hit every single 8 count with precision, and that final move, landing in a perfect aggressive jump split and revealing a literal gold star sewn onto the crotch of her outfit.
It was a moment.
It was hilarious, it was camp, and it showed she can balance precise athletic dancing with self-aware drag comedy. She didn't take herself too seriously, but she executed it flawlessly.
I will give credit where credit is due. In terms of traditional talent, hitting your marks, executing difficult choreography, maintaining breath control while lip-syncing, Sam was technically flawless.
Thank you.
If this were a traditional drag pageant system like Miss Continental, Sam would have scored incredibly high. It was clean. It was professional. It was undeniably a talent.
Exactly. I was cheering for her. But then we pivot to Joey J.
Oh, Joey. Sweet, relatable Joey.
She did a ballroom dance routine, and I want to start with the positives, because I love the concept.
Concept is a strong word.
The backing track alone was a masterpiece. Having a severe, dramatic tango beat while a voiceover just repeats, "You better dance, you homosexual," was iconic. I want that track on a ringtone. I want it played at my funeral as my casket is lowered. It was so deeply unserious.
The track was, unfortunately, the absolute best part of the performance.
You are so mean, but I mean, I can't even defend it. I was clutching my pearls, bestie. When Joey went for that big trick with her dance partner and almost completely wiped out, my heart literally stopped beating.
Let me put on my judging glasses and explain the physics of this, because I need to read this to Sylph.
Oh boy.
Joey completely got in her head after that slip-up. You could see the panic wash over her face. The illusion of a confident ballroom dancer was instantly shattered. But even before the slip, it was fundamentally messy.
I mean, the technique wasn't quite there.
That is an understatement. If you're going to do a ballroom routine on the main stage, your technique needs to be watertight. When they lifted her for that assisted cartwheel, you have to consider how a drag corset changes your center of gravity.
Right.
It constricts your core. Because she couldn't engage her core properly, her legs were bent in the air, the toes were absolutely not pointed. It looked incredibly heavy, like the dancer was lifting a sack of potatoes rather than a graceful feather.
It did look a little clunky. You could see the physical effort it took the dancer to get her over.
And the hair flip, she went for this dramatic, passionate hair toss to punctuate the beat, and the wig just got stuck right on her face.
Oh, the lip gloss.
The synthetic fibers just clung to her lip gloss, and she panicked. Instead of working through it smoothly, it wasn't natural. I love Joey, I really do. But analytically, that was a massive fumble at the absolute worst possible time in the competition.
I can't argue with that, as much as it hurts me to admit it. And speaking of fumbles that broke my heart, Jasmine Kennedy.
Let's unpack the cheerleading routine and the biomechanics of disaster.
I loved the throwback to her high school cheer days. It felt deeply personal and gave us a glimpse into her backstory. And there were some genuinely hard stunts and high-flying lifts in there. She is so athletic.
She is.
But there was a massive wobble, a really scary, unstable moment in the air where I thought she was going to plummet to the stage and break an ankle.
The wobble heard round the world. Now, if you look at the Reddit threads, the internet is fiercely debating this. They are breaking down the footage frame by frame like it's the Zapruder film.
It's wild.
Was it Jasmine's fault for losing her core stability and leaning too far back? Or was it the backup dancer's fault for not having the baseline strength to base the stunt properly?
I have to defend Jasmine a little here. I felt like the backup dancers looked a little lost. I don't think they were actual trained cheer bases. They looked like jazz dancers who were told to hold up a grown man in heels an hour before the show.
Be that as it may, here is my final ruling as a judge of reality television. On the main stage of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars, a wobble is a wobble. It is your name on the marquee. If you choose to incorporate backup dancers into a highly technical, dangerous stunt, you are taking on the risk of their execution. It doesn't matter whose fault it technically was. It broke the fantasy, and it made the whole routine look dangerous in a deeply uncomfortable way. We weren't marveling at her talent. We were praying for her safety.
That is a very fair point. You live and die by the team you bring on stage. Okay, let's switch gears to Dawn. She did an elf burlesque number. Now, I thought the ear reveal was super campy, really fun, and very on brand for Dawn's whimsical fairy tale aesthetic. She leaned into what she does best. It was cute.
Cute does not win All-Stars. I'm sorry, I completely and fundamentally disagree with you on this one.
Oh, here we go.
It was a terribly boring start. Burlesque relies on pacing, teasing, and audience connection. She was taking pieces off way too slowly. There was zero emotional connection or eye contact with the judges, and it completely lacked that crucial wow factor. It was just a slow striptease to reveal something we've already seen.
But the lip-syncing part was funny. The facial expressions were great.
It was merely fine. But what really grinds my gears is the absolute blatant hypocrisy of it all.
Wait, what do you mean?
Think back to the workroom. Dawn spent the entire preparation segment calling out Sam Starr for lacking originality, basically saying Sam's wig and song were basic and expected. And then what does Dawn do for her grand talent? Elf cosplay. Again.
Oh, wow. I didn't even put that together.
If any other queen wore the exact same prosthetic ears on the runway week after week, Michelle Visage would read them to filth and demand versatility. Dawn gets a pass for branding, but stripping off a robe to reveal the exact same character you play every week is not a groundbreaking talent.
Okay, you are out for blood today. You are not holding back on the dolls. So let's talk about Akria, because I know you have thoughts. She did a comedic puppet burlesque to a Dreamgirls-style track.
Yes, I have thoughts.
Now, I really appreciated that she tried to do something upbeat and funny. We usually see Akria do very fierce, intense, serious pageantry, so showing this campy side was a huge risk.
A risk that absolutely, unequivocally did not pay off. Babes, let me eviscerate this prop work because it offended me on a theatrical level.
I knew this was coming. Proceed.
The puppets were a disaster. First of all, from a pure construction standpoint, they were visibly rushed. They looked small, cheap, and entirely unfinished.
They were a little sad.
But the most important part of a puppet routine, the entire point of puppetry as an art form, is the illusion of life. The mouths on those puppets were barely moving. They looked like something you'd buy at a tourist trap gift shop in Times Square, not props for a Mainstage All-Stars finale push.
Yeah.
It was sloppy, and Akira is usually the absolute pinnacle of polish.
I can't defend the front puppet. It definitely looked like it was malfunctioning. It was giving me secondary anxiety just watching her try to frantically manipulate the strings while remembering her lip sync words. It was too many things happening at once.
Exactly.
Okay, moving on to Silky Nutmeg Ganache, who gave us a high-energy HBCU majorette dance line. I loved the energy. I love seeing body positivity on stage, showing that big girls can move, and she was clearly having the time of her life out there.
The energy was absolutely there. The execution was absolutely not. I have to be savage here because we are at the top 6.
Go in, Judge. Leave no crumbs.
First, the backup dancers were completely out of sync with her, which entirely ruins the visual impact of a unified majorette line. The power of that dance style is in the militant synchronization.
That's true. It has to be tight.
Second, the styling was a massive choice. She didn't wear any padding, and that specific bodysuit cut was incredibly unflattering, without a cinched shape to give a silhouette some structure. But the worst offense, the absolute cardinal sin of drag, the shoes.
The shoes. What was wrong with the shoes?
She was wearing flat, unrhinestoned, completely basic shoes. They look like peasant shoes from a regional Renaissance fair.
Oh my God. Peasant shoes.
If you are going to do flat footwear for choreography, which I understand for safety, you stone the life out of them. You elevate them. You cover them in Swarovski crystals. The flat, matte, basic shoes just dragged the entire visual down to the floor. It completely ruined the illusion of drag glamour.
Peasant shoes. I am screaming. You are so ruthless. Okay, we have to talk about the final performance. The one that literally broke the internet. The one that has the Reddit girlies writing absolute essays and think pieces. Crystal method.
Ah, yes. The interpretive dance on global warming.
I put global warming in massive, bold air quotes. Let me paint the picture for you if you haven't seen it. It was Crystal in a giant fuzzy snowman suit, stripping down to sultry burlesque music and then pulling a massive sparkly carrot out of her behind.
Just a normal Friday night.
I was literally crying laughing at the absolute absurdity of it. Only Crystal Method could stand on a stage in a snowman suit, pull a root vegetable out of her crack, and confidently call it a poignant statement on climate change. It was performance art.
See, you were laughing, and I chuckled too, but a massive portion of the fan base is furious. I have been analyzing the fallout, and people are calling this a completely rigged win.
They really are.
So we have to ask, was it a brilliant piece of frostbitten avant-garde camp burlesque, or was it just a goofy gimmick? Because a lot of people feel that slowly taking off a costume isn't a talent compared to what Sam or Jasmine were doing physically. Sam did a full acrobatic dance routine, and Crystal wiggled out a fleece.
I know. The riggery debate is raging online, and honestly, I feel terrible for Crystal. I love Crystal so much. Her mind is so unique, but I hate that the producers are clearly pushing her so hard to the finale that the fans are starting to turn on her.
It's so transparent.
She doesn't need the producer shenanigans. She's talented and rude enough on her own. When they force a win like this, crowning a snowman striptease over a flawless dance routine, it makes her success feel unearned to the audience, even if the performance was wildly entertaining.
It's the Ginger Minge effect all over again. The producers get heavy-handed with the narrative, they try to force a specific queen down our throats, and the audience naturally resents it and pushes back. But we also have to look at the format itself. The real villain here isn't Crystal Method, and it isn't even the producer's rewarding camp. It's the Rate-a-Queen format.
How so? Walk me through the logic.
Because Rate-a-Queen almost sent the absolute best technical talents home. When you let the queens vote strategically, they aren't voting on who had the best objective talent. They are voting on who is the biggest threat to their crown or who they have alliances with in the workroom.
Oh, that makes total sense.
The format is fundamentally flawed. It puts a flawless, highly technical routine like Sam's in the bottom just because she doesn't have a strong social game or pre-existing friendships with the other girls. It stops being a talent competition and becomes a popularity contest.
It's so true. The system is broken, babes. It's punishing the girls who just want to put their heads down and do the work. But we still have a runway to judge, because that tension didn't just stay in the workroom, it completely colored the runway presentations. The category is, it's giving crowned queen.
Basically, the prompt is, dress like you already won the season. Best drag, elevated to the highest possible degree. No holding back.
Before we get to the queens, we have to talk about the judges' looks, because RuPaul and Michelle Visage were serving absolute fashion this week.
RuPaul was immaculate. She wore this asymmetrical short cocktail dress, and the fabric looked incredibly luxe and heavy, like a dense silk mikado. But the star of the show was that massive rhinestone coral reef brooch placed right on the chest.
It was stunning.
It was so elegant, so elevated. It wasn't just another generic sequin gown. It was true high fashion. It looked expensive.
I was obsessed. And Michelle Visage, she came out in a silver metallic lace-up romper with these fierce, exaggerated shoulder pads. I love when Michelle gives us a structured, almost armor-like silhouette. It was giving futuristic disco warrior, very Studio 54 meets Mad Max.
She looked great, although the way the hair was pulled back so severely did expose a rather generous amount of forehead.
You can't let her have one moment.
But we forgive it, because the romper was stellar and the tailoring was impeccable. So let's talk about the queens. Who takes the crown for best runway of the night?
Oh, this is so tough because everyone really brought it. But for me, it has to be a curious phoenix gown. The way the lava colors blended into each other, the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and that massive mermaid trumpet structure at the bottom, it was breathtaking.
It was beautiful.
It literally looked like fire frozen in fabric. The way it moved when she walked was hypnotic. Now, I will admit, I have one critique. That chunky, heavy necklace she paired with it was a bit much. It distracted from the beautiful plunging neckline. But the gown itself, pure, unadulterated drag excellence.
The gown was beautiful, and the gradient dye job was stunning. But my best runway goes to Dawn, without a shadow of a doubt.
The Alexander McQueen Smurf fantasy.
Exactly. It was a skin-tight electric blue bodysuit that flared out into this massive, rippling structural floral skirt. If you really look at the garment construction, the way she manipulated that stretch fabric to create the illusion of three-dimensional flowers bursting out of her skin, it was absolute genius.
Wow, okay.
It held its shape perfectly when she walked, which is incredibly hard to do with stretch fabric. It was weird, it was whimsical, and it was undeniably high fashion. It felt like an editorial spread in Vogue.
It was very Queen of the North meets Alien Botany. I loved it. Okay, what about biggest surprise? Who gave you something you didn't expect?
Crystal Method. No question, we are so used to Crystal giving us bright, clashing colors, polka dots, chaotic clown makeup, and absolute visual noise. This week she came out in a stunning Aztec, indigenous-inspired look that was subdued in color, lots of earth tones and golds, but incredibly rich in detail.
It was very different for her.
The beadwork, the structure, it was beautiful. It showed a level of refinement I didn't know she had.
I agree, it was stunning from the front. But I'm going to push back slightly on this one. Did you see those weird wrinkly flags attached to the back of the outfit?
I did notice the flags, yes.
They looked like cheap high school color guard flags. They weren't structured properly, they were wrinkled as if they'd been stuffed in a suitcase, and honestly, they dragged the whole look down for me. If she had just edited those off, it would have been flawless. But the detailing on the actual garment was gorgeous.
That is a very fair critique. Editing is a skill not all queens possess. And Coco Chanel's rule of taking one thing off before you leave the house definitely applies to drag. Now, who gets your vote for most underrated look?
I am giving this to Sam Starr, hands down. She came out in this incredible rhinestone cowgirl lasso look, and here's why I think it's brilliant, the absolute attention to detail.
Okay, let's hear it.
She had this white fringe that perfectly matched her glove, which held a star, which conceptually matched the gold star on her crotch from the talent show. The continuity of her branding across the entire episode was so smart. She was telling a cohesive story.
The concept was strong, I'll give you that. The execution, a bit stiff. That skirt looked incredibly rigid. You could tell she could barely walk down the runway. She was doing a very awkward shuffle.
Yeah, that's true.
And the lasso prop was bent out of shape, probably from being shoved in a workroom trunk.
Yeah.
But conceptually, she thought it through, which I appreciate.
Okay, final runway category. One outfit you'd actually wear with modifications. If you could raid their closets, what are you pulling?
I am absolutely stealing Joey J's look. It was this gorgeous, heavy taffeta gown with an airbrush corset and a luxurious fur shawl. It gave wealthy widow who just inherited an oil empire and is attending her husband's suspicious funeral.
Yes, very that. But what's the modification? Because there's always a modification with you.
I demand that they fix the visible boob cups. She had these stark nude foam pads showing underneath the sheer part of the corset.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice.
If you are going to show the internal structure of a garment, if you're playing with transparency, make it intentional. Make the cups navy blue to contrast with the fabric or cover them in rhinestones. Don't just leave them nude so it looks like your cheap underwear is peeking out by accident. It completely ruins the fantasy of wealth.
You are so intensely analytical about garments. I don't even care about the foam boob cups. I just want Joey's hair. That updo was flawless.
This is very good hair.
The Hassan hair, as the kids on TikTok are calling it, was swooped and sculpted to the gods. Not a single flyaway. I would wear that hair to the grocery store just to intimidate people in the produce aisle.
You'd hit your head on the automatic doors, but you'd look fabulous doing it. Which brings us to the moment of truth. The judging panel has spoken, the brutal Raid a Queen votes have been tallied, and bottom two is revealed to the world.
Sam Starr and Akira C. Davenport.
The collective gasp in the room. You could hear a pin drop.
But the moment that truly stole the entire episode for me happened right as the bottom two was announced. Jasmine Kennedy standing there on the stage, tears literally streaming down her face because she realizes she lost the talent show to Crystal Snowman, and under her breath, while the cameras are rolling, she just mutters, "But talent show."
It is the read of the century. It encapsulates the entire frustration of the fandom in 3 words.
It was so raw. She was trying so hard to be gracious. Rue asks her if she's emotional. She lies and says she's fine while actively weeping, and then just drops that shady little nugget. I felt her pain so deeply, but oh my God, it was phenomenal television. It was the crack in the facade.
It was perfectly petty. But it leads us right into the main event, the lip sync. Sam Starr versus Akira, battling it out to Beyoncé's Run the World. A massive song. Let's break this performance down, because this is where the mechanics of drag really matter.
I have to start by saying Sam did great. This is a very high-energy, demanding song with a lot of iconic choreography associated with it.
It is.
Sam was hitting the choreo, she did the tuck rolls, she did those complicated leg interlock moves on the floor, she brought all the athletic tricks she had in her bag, she fought.
But tell the Snark Squad what was missing.
But she looked like she was thinking about the moves. You could almost see her counting the 8 counts in her head. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I flip, now I roll, now I point, now I smile. It was technically proficient, but it lacked that effortless fire. It looked like a recital, not a battle.
Exactly. And that is where Akira completely devoured her. Let's analyze Akira's stage presence here. She didn't just dance the choreography. She embodied the absolute essence of Beyoncé.
She really did.
It's about how you carry your jaw, how you plant your feet. It was in the face. It was in the aggressive hair whipping. It was the attitude. She tapped into pure, unfiltered survival energy. She looked at that stage. She looked at the judges, and her body language said, I am not going home tonight. You will have to drag me off this stage.
Akira was giving a stadium tour performance. She knew exactly when to pull back and when to explode. Which leads to the ultimate question, the one everyone is fighting about online. Did the judges make the right decision sending Sam home?
Well, what do you think?
Honestly, I am devastated. I am so upset for Sam. She just got here. She was a late addition to the cast. She completely killed the talent show with a flawless routine, and she was absolutely robbed by the Rated Queen format just because she didn't have the time to build strong alliances with these girls.
It's a tough spot to be in.
She shouldn't have even been in the bottom in the first place. It feels so unjust.
I agree that the voting system is completely broken and failed her on a structural level. However, analytically speaking, if we look strictly at the lip sync that happened on that stage in a vacuum, Akira won that battle fair and square.
I mean, yeah.
The energy matched the song perfectly. Sam put up a valiant fight, but Akira was the undisputed victor of that specific moment.
Ugh, you're right, but I don't have to like it. My heart breaks for Sam, but she should be incredibly proud of the glow-up she showed this season. She left a mark.
Which brings us to the end game. We are looking at the final 6, babes. Akira, Crystal, Dawn, Jasmine, Joey, and Silky are headed to the grand finale. Let's survey the battlefield. Who are the early frontrunners based on the edit and the track records?
Ooh, okay. Who do you have?
If you look at the trajectory and the narrative the producers are weaving, you have to point to Crystal and Dawn. The judges are clearly obsessed with Crystal. They are bending over backwards to reward her specific brand of weirdness, even when it borders on gimmick.
Oh, absolutely.
And Dawn. Her runways are simply on another level. She is playing the fashion game flawlessly, and Ru loves a fashion girl.
I totally agree on Crystal and Dawn having the producer push, but let me pitch you my dark horse, Joey J.
Joey, really?
Yeah.
After that car wheel.
Yes. Think about it logically. She came into this season as a wild card, a filler queen in the eyes of many, and she has completely redeemed her original run. She is relaxed, she is naturally funny without trying too hard, and the fans are absolutely eating up her authentic energy.
That is true.
If she can pull off a miracle in the finale, if she can just deliver one flawless lip sync, it would be the ultimate underdog story.
It would be a gag. We'll give you that. But if we are talking about who is dominating the screen time, biggest personality goes to Silky. She is playing the reality TV game like a fiddle. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's dropping iconic quotes left and right, and she refuses to apologize for playing to win. She's the main character of the workroom drama, and you can't ignore that kind of gravity.
She really is the center of the solar system right now. Okay, final question for this section. Gun to your head, ignoring track records. Who are you officially rooting for?
You go first.
For me, it's Jasmine Kennedy. I just love the raw emotion she brings to the show. She gives you pure charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent every time she steps on stage. She dances the house down, and she isn't afraid to show how badly she wants it. I love a queen who wears her heart on her sleeve and fights through the tears.
Emotion is messy, and I prefer strategy. I am rooting for Akira. Think about the storyline. Fighting from the bottom over and over, losing her ante in a lip sync, getting betrayed by her friends in the voting, and surviving every single elimination challenge.
It's an incredible story.
If she can pull off a miracle win after this grueling gauntlet, it would be the most satisfying hard-earned crown in drag history. It would be an epic hero's journey.
It would be legendary. All right, before we wrap up this recap, we need to look into our crystal balls. What is your biggest prediction for the grand finale next week?
Well, what's yours?
I am predicting absolute chaos. I think the finale is going to be a massive Lollapalooza lip-sync smackdown. No more voting, no more track records, no more hiding behind alliances, just pure combat. And someone is going to pull a stunt during a lip-sync that completely breaks the internet. Someone is jumping off a rafter.
I can see that happening. And if it is a lip sync tournament, my prediction for the future lip sync assassin is Akira. She has survived the bottom so many times now that she is basically a lethal weapon. She knows exactly how to pace herself, how to find the cameras, and how to completely devour an opponent. Do not count her out in a sudden death format. She is dangerous.
Ooh, lethal weapon, Excuria. I like that. What about your next breakout queen? The one who, even if they don't win the crown, leaves the season a total superstar.
Who are you calling?
I'm calling Dawn. Even if she doesn't take the crown, her fashion has cemented her as a legend. People are going to be referencing her looks for years. She has established a brand that is impossible to ignore, and the fashion girls always get the best bookings after the show.
All right, I have one completely chaotic theory that somehow feels incredibly possible given how sadistic the producers have been. You ready for this?
Oh, God, lay it on me. I'm scared.
I predict a final brutal twist. RuPaul gets them all on stage, the final 6, and makes them use Rate a Queen one last time to vote someone completely out of the top 2. Maximum spite.
No.
Bridge burning on an apocalyptic scale right before the winner is crowned, forcing them to eliminate their friends one last time.
That would be evil. That would ruin friendships forever.
It would be Emmy award-winning television, babes. And it brings up a really fascinating point about what we expect from these shows. As viewers, we constantly scream for fairness. We want the queen with the best track record to win. We get mad when a snowman beats a dancer. But is fairness actually what makes a show legendary?
I mean, I guess not.
If Drag Race was perfectly fair, it would be a spreadsheet, not a television show. The riggery, the unfair twists, the emotional devastation, that is what keeps us talking, tweeting, and recording this very show. Fairness is the enemy of entertainment.
Oh, wow. That actually makes a terrifying amount of sense. The internet would literally combust if they did that twist. But you're right, we would all be watching. I kind of want to see it now.
Of course you do. We thrive on the drama.
We really do. Well, babes, that is all the time we have for our recap today, but we want to turn it over to the Snark Squad. Which queen completely stole this episode for you? Which runway look had you screaming at your TV? And who are you officially rooting for to take the crown next week? Sound off in the comments, hit us up in the DMs. You know we read every single one of your messages.
And truly, thank you again for welcoming us back from the hiatus with such open arms. It feels incredible to be back behind the mics, breaking down the fabulous chaos with you.
Please remind yourself to subscribe, leave us a glowing 5-star review, and share the podcast with another fabulous babe in your life. The Snark Side is back, the hiatus is over, and we are not going anywhere.
And remember, babes, if you're going to wear foam pads on the runway, make sure they match the outfit. We are always watching.
Stay fabulous, stay fierce, and we'll see you on the Snark Side.